Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Survivor Debrief exit interview. And we are so lucky, although also quite disappointed, to be talking to our castaway today. Yes, that's right. We're talking to the last Brawn standing, not the last woman standing, not the last Brawn man standing, but the last Brawn of anyone standing. That's right, the lovely Kate. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you going, my friend?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, so good, Kate. So good. Lovely. So,
Good.
how are you
I'm
feeling
very good
after
at.
last night? How are you feeling after last night?
Amazing. I feel like yeah, it was inedible. Even if I made it one more, even if I made it through one more, it would be me. I mean, you're against three other brains and they're going to band together. They literally had the alliance from the very, very start, which I didn't really know about until now. Yeah, it's been really good. I think I'm really proud of myself for getting that far.
No, you definitely should be. It was such a huge effort. I just want to actually, first of all, before we go any further, I should admit something. Well, you and me have a little bit of a connection. I actually work with your sister
I know. My
which is so
sister's
what
told me.
I know. It's so
It's
funny.
really funny.
Yeah, I know. We work at Village Cinemas together, and she was
It's
it
just
just sort of came
wild.
up. It just sort of came up naturally because she's only just come on board, and she was like, "Oh, my sister's actually in on Survivor this year," and then someone was like, "That guy was just on Survivor last year," and then we started
That
talking about it, which is really
that
funny.
is such a small world. Like out of all the places to work, I don't understand how that's happened. That's just
It's so
unreal.
it was so
I feel
funny.
like it's for a reason. Maybe I need to know you for a reason.
Everything's connected, mate. I just want
Yeah.
to start at the beginning then. What was your casting journey like with Survivor? And did you have you seen Survivor much leading up to you being cast on the show?
Yeah, it was something that I watched more as a kid, like the American version.
Yep.
So I hadn't really seen it for a while, but I did watch the season before, your season,
Yeah.
and I loved it so, so much. And then, yeah, when I got casted, I was like binge watching as much as I could because really I wasn't as caught up as I could have been because it's just like reality TV show is amazing, but you've got to spend a lot of time doing it.
Yeah.
And my job is just like all over the place. So like I don't have a 9 to 5 job where I can come home and watch the show at the exact same time. I even sometimes was struggling to watch Survivor at the time because I'd have a show on or you know what I mean? So it's just like it's not the same as everyone else. But I absolutely loved your season when I did
Oh,
watch it
thank you, mate.
before I even got casted. So I was like, you know what, this is a great show. And I
Yeah.
remember this being great when I was young. And I think it would just be such a challenge for me. And I was like, I wonder if I could do it.
Yeah, love it.
So that was
Love
like
it.
my reasoning. Just really wanted to see if I could do it, prove it to myself.
And did you
Take a
have a
big
did you have a strategy going out there that you thought, okay, this is what I'm going to play like, this is what I'm going to do, and then how did that actually change when you hit the beach and when you actually started playing?
Yeah, I think I just went in thinking like I always said that I wanted to be myself. I didn't want to change who I was as a person. I'm not a liar in everyday life, and I don't think any of those people really are. Um but I really wanted to stay loyal because I am very loyal as a person as well, like to my close friends. Like if I have someone like that's not in my alliance, yeah, go get off the island. I don't care. But I have a few people that I wanted to stay really loyal to, and I did, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that because when you're put in positions like that, I totally understand why people weren't loyal to, their ride or dies because it's hard. It's a hard decision to make. It's $500,000, like, and you just met that person, but
Yeah.
that person becomes really important to you. And I'm really happy that I got to see that I am still myself, even in like the worst state that I could possibly be in. So that was something that I was really proud of. Um, but as in terms of like gameplay and strategy, I did have to change up my gameplay a little bit when I hit merge and people started seeing me as a threat because I was relying on kind of going under the radar and being like the ditzy DJ that everyone's just like she can just get through. She's not a threat. But when I started winning challenges and when I started having connections with so many people on the island, people were like,
Mm.
she's sneaky. I think Karen told me that she noticed I was sneaky from the moment I picked my cocktail party
Yeah.
people
Reward group
just
people. Yeah.
because that that moment is when I split up the entire buddy system. I took someone out of everybody apart from Morgan. I just
Yeah.
wanted her to come. But
Yeah.
I kind of split up every single person that had a buddy because I wanted to get information. I didn't want any buddies to be together because when a buddy is together, they make plans together. So I wanted everyone to not make plans and just make plans with me if that was possible. So that was something that I think Karen was like, I noticed that,
I'm
and she
onto
told
something.
people about that, and I was like, damn it, Karen.
Ah,
But
that's crazy.
yeah, I think I started having to be a bit more strategic and jumping on votes when I could, making new alliances with people that may be dangerous or shields like AJ. So that's when I kind of had to play a bit more of a strategic Kate.
Yeah, great. If you could narrow down, I know it's really hard when you look at the whole game, but is there one move that you did that you were particularly proud of that you thought, yeah, this is really good, or this has really set me up really well?
Yeah, I think actually the Jesse vote set me up really well because that was just when we
Yeah.
hit, just before we hit merge. And I think it got everyone thinking that I, it may have put everyone, sorry, can't speak. It may have made everyone think that I was a threat as well, but it made everyone realize that I was playing the game.
Mm,
And I think that put a lot of power in my hands because a lot of people wanted to work with me. A lot of people after that vote were coming to me with plans because almost like there were so many people that I didn't even know, like that jumped onto that plan. Like Karen jumped onto that plan and I hadn't even spoken to her before. Like I had gotten all these people through the connections I had made with like Laura and the Girls Gone Wild um alliance, even though that lasted 2 days.
rest in peace,
I
Girls Gone
still
Wild.
I still got that that alliance still really helped me because that's how I got that vote to work, was because they had people on the Brains tribe that all were like, okay, that's an easy vote, let's work with her. And yeah, I think that really got my name out there. And I think even though it was an easy vote for people, it was really good for me because it made me become this game player that everyone actually wanted to work with and knew that I would make big moves as well. Because Jesse was like someone I was really close to from the very, very start. Like we did everything together. Like he was such a goose and I'm such a goose. So like we were always being idiots, always singing together. Like I have some of the best memories with Jesse, and it was actually really hard voting him out. They didn't show it, but I did like cry. I was like really
Oh,
upset that I was the one to make him go home. But I knew that's what I had to do because
yeah.
he had spoken about me in the past as well. So it was perfect for me to get him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
definitely the vote that changed the game for me, I think,
Yeah, I love
in a
it
good way.
because the game itself has evolved a bit more now that when people do show you that, oh, look, I'm willing to make moves, I'm willing to do stuff, it does open doors for you in the game. It's no longer,
Yeah.
oh, Kate's done something, let's get rid of her next. It's sort of evolved a
Yeah.
bit. So that was a good pickup. And on the flip side of that, what do you think was your biggest mistake out there? What ultimately was something that you felt like, ah, damn it, I shouldn't have done that, or I should have done this?
I can't say, like, I think a lot of people left the game with a lot of regrets. I don't think I had
Mm,
a huge regret. I think
great.
something I think something maybe thinking back on was the rock situation,
Oh,
only
yep.
because it could have changed the game for me.
Oh,
But at the
yeah.
same time, still, if I was there, I don't think I would have done it even so, because when when you take out Logan and Zara, the two people that can't be voted for now in the
Mm,
rocks, I'm left with Morgan, who I don't want to go home, Kristen, who I'm much closer with than Zara or Logan, and then AJ and Miles, best case, one of them goes, but that's unlikely. It's more likely for one of us three girls to go. And if for someone was going to go, it would be better for my game for it to be Logan or Zara. Because
yep.
if say Morgan left and then I was stuck with Logan, yes, Logan's a great person, but she would have flipped on me in a second,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So for me, it didn't make sense to go to Rocks for the people that were left in the game because it was very likely one of us three Brawn girls were going to go, even though we knew what was going to happen next. It still
Yeah.
was, it's just a hard place. Yeah.
Yeah.
If um if Zara and Logan were in that chance, I think I would have definitely done it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
100%.
think
And it is like
yeah.
hindsight is 2020. Like looking at it now, you go, well, of course, Logan sort of said we'll get picked off, and that's what ended up happening. It's
Mm,
like going back now, you go like, oh, of course I do that. But at the time, it is really hard. And mathematically, and I think you had a conversation with Miles as well. And then we did break down the maths. It's mathematically more likely that one of you guys would have gone home, but it does
yes.
give you a
Yeah.
shot in that rate. Now, a lot of
Yeah.
people have talked about now, Rox, was this something that you knew about at that time, or was it something
Yes.
that just sort of came through? So you were aware of the concept of rocks and everything?
I knew what rocks was. The thing I didn't know was that Zara and Logan were not
Would
going
not
to
be
be in it.
immune.
That's
Yeah.
what I didn't
Yeah.
understand. So yeah, I
Gotcha.
mean, I guess I didn't know the full version of it, and people still have the right to be angry at me for it. But
No one,
yeah,
no one's
I knew
angry.
what
No one's
rocks was.
angry. It's fine. It's
Oh,
fine.
I
It's
think
fine.
some people on the jury were angry, but that's totally fair enough. I was like, I'm so sorry.
No, no, no. It's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, I didn't understand the fact that they got taken out of that equation because
Yeah,
I
that does
went in there
change everything.
going,
Yeah.
that's why I was so shocked because I went in there being like, hell yeah, I'll probably go to Rocks too. But as soon as that got told to me, I was like, that doesn't sound good. I don't
Yeah.
want like Morgan or Kristen going over anyone else, even though there's still a chance. But yeah,
Yeah.
just a hard one.
It's
And I think even now, I can't say it's hard to say I regret doing it because I could have gone home. Like could have gone
exactly.
home.
And
So
then
it's just
yeah, like you don't know,
yeah.
and that's the tricky thing about going to rocks. That's why it is so hard because there is this
And
risk. Yeah.
someone actually made a wheel of like fortune and put all our names on it because they're like, I want to know who would have
Who
gone
would
to
have gone
Rocks.
home?
And it
Yeah.
was me. Yeah. So I was like,
Well,
yeah,
dodged a
I'm
bullet
so
there, Kate.
glad.
Dodged a ball there. Fantastic. Now,
Yeah.
one thing I did want to touch on, and I did see you put up a post about it after you got voted out, but it was you deal with something in your everyday life with your OCD. And obviously, I love that you've come out and you've embraced that. And you've said, "Look, this was really hard for me out there." I just want to give you an opportunity just to talk through that and how hard that was, and how much of you putting yourself in that position would have been really scary to go out there and do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, that's kind of the reason why I wanted to do Survivor was because I kept hearing these news stories about like teenagers not being able to go to school. And because I have Survivor, people would talk to me about this. So like they'll be like,
Mm,
oh, my kid, she doesn't want to go to school because she's so embarrassed of it. And like, and that just like hit my heart really
mm,
bad because I was like that when I was a teenager. I felt really, really embarrassed of I stopped doing my schoolwork because I would write over the same word a million times and it would become this big black hole in my book. And then everyone would be like, why are you doing that? And I didn't want to explain why I was doing that. I was just like, oh, I'm just doing it. I want to. But like, as a teenager, I was so embarrassed of it. And as I've grown as an adult, I've just decided that I don't give a fuck about what people think. So like, I'll be walking through shopping centers, I'll be walking in and out. And people stare at me, people look at me. I'm just like, take a picture if you want to see. But like it's something that I can't be embarrassed of anymore because it would stop me in life. Like
mm.
if I had that teenager mentality still, that would be stopping me from my DJ shows and getting really far in my career. And that's exactly what has gotten me far in my career is not caring about what other people think. And I think going on this show, when I started hearing those stories about other teenagers going through that, I'm just like, you know what? Imagine like a teenager seeing that who's got it and being like, well, yeah, I don't care what people think either. Like, this is silly. Like, just do your little weird quirk and get on with life. No one really cares. It's fine. But going through that on Survivor was definitely tricky. Like, it definitely made moments very hard for me, especially when I was trying to really focus because sometimes I'll be getting OCD when people don't even realize. Like I'll be like getting it with my teeth or like blinking and someone's trying to talk straight with me and I just heard nothing of
Mm.
what they just said. Like I'll just be like in my own brain, like trying to make sure they don't die. So yeah, a lot of my OCD thoughts are quite dark and I think that's the part that makes it hard is the bad thoughts.
Yeah.
But funny enough, a lot of the OCD started to turn into Survivor OCD about me going home and stuff like that, which was interesting because all my life my OCD has been about like loved ones dying and like all these sorts of fears. So I'd have to do it again and again and try and make sure they don't die. And like I
Yeah.
have to
Wow.
have the good thought. I have to like imagine them becoming an old lady. So that's why I have to
Yeah.
do it again and again and again until I get it right and they're an old person and they're living a happy life. But a lot of my thoughts did become survivor related and not going home. So yeah, it did get a bit obsessive towards the end, and I think I definitely was doing a lot of stuff, but I said it there. I was like, you know what, I would probably be the same at home. I mean, I'm definitely worse because I'm starving and I haven't slept and
Mm.
stuff, but I think at home I still get it every day anyway. So to me, it didn't really
That's
change
fantastic.
it. It was just pushing through.
That's amazing, mate. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are really connected with you through that. And so
Yeah.
I think it's great that you've embraced that and an ambassador for that. I think that's fantastic, bud. Back to the game itself. A few things I wanted to touch on. One was you did feel very under the radar for the first half of the game, just in terms of the edit and what we saw.
Yeah.
Then at Merge, you sort of exploded and really came out the gate, which was fantastic. Was there anything in the first half of the game that maybe we didn't see that you wanted to share?
I think it's hard to say because we kept winning.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have
So
to do the strat. Yeah,
we were
yeah,
on the Brawn tribe, and it literally was like a fact of like the brains going through like this massive storm, and we're just like do 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 do
yeah,
do like living life. Like I was very, very lucky to be on a Brawn tribe that we just like we won so much. Like we really didn't. I went to 2 tribal councils before I hit merge.
yeah,
So like, I mean, how could what were they going to show us like having the best time? Like,
yeah, yeah. And so
um,
it really was just that hanging out, just sort of getting everyone getting
yeah. I
along.
mean,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, just trying to get like the camp life going, and obviously it was still hard. Like you're still starving, you're still not sleeping,
yeah.
and you're still with people that are fighting and want to get you out eventually. And there's still so much strat chat. Like we stratted every single day. But I think the Brawn tribe were just a bit lucky in that sense where we didn't have to, I guess we didn't really have to do those scrambles very
Mm,
often, which was awesome.
yeah.
So
And I do feel like in the second half of the game, when you started going to more tribal councils, you did sort of start getting the sort of the ground under your feet. You sort of figured out the game and the moves and stuff. And by the end, you were dropping little bits of information here and there and getting Kaylin to get worried and everything like that. So I feel like you really had this metamorphosis in terms of where you ended up at the end of the
yeah.
game, which was great. Did
Yeah,
you?
and that's what I wanted to do as well going into the game. I wanted to fly under the radar for as long as possible, just to get
Yes.
me as far as I possibly could. And then I was always going to strike and come out later.
Love it. Did you know, just quickly, did you know how tight the graduates were in the game when you were
No,
actually there? No, that didn't come through. They hid that pretty well.
no, they did hide that really well. Not that I didn't know they were all quite close. I
Yeah.
definitely noticed that they were together, but it wasn't like they went off in that 4 quite often.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was a 5 4 who left.
Was Karen ended up getting taken
Oh
out.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
that
yeah.
felt like so long ago. It
Yeah.
only just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I think they made it pretty good because that they worked with other people in the meantime and they kind of all went
Mm.
off. A lot of alliances, when you work with someone else, you're like dead to the alliance.
Yeah.
But I think they played it quite smart where they didn't vote each other out, but they could go against each other's votes and still come back together. So that's
Yeah.
like a really smart way of playing an alliance. I think it's probably the best way of playing an alliance because it's the least obvious
Yeah.
and no one really like AJ was working with me. Karen hated that, even though like, do you know what I mean? Like they're in the same
Yeah.
alliance, and Tara hated that. They're in the same alliance. So I think the fact that they went away, did their own thing, and came back together when they needed to, very, very smart.
Love
Best
it.
alliance they do.
You mentioned AJ there, and I just did want to touch on your relationship with AJ. That sort of started to come into fruition famously when he said, "Oh, you have such lovely eyes, and you're such a great runner, Kate. You're such a great runner." I just want to
So
just
good at running.
I just want to know how much did you lean into that relationship? Were you aware what he was trying to do? How much of that did you feel was real? Just your entire journey with AJ.
I think AJ's a very complimentive person. That's not a word, but
No, I
I
know what
think
you
he
mean.
I think he compliments everybody, and I don't think it was just me he was complimenting. I think he
Yeah,
literally just is such a positive person, and if he likes something about you, he will tell you. And
yeah,
I think it came across maybe like a bit flirty, but I don't think that was the case. Like me and
no,
AJ had so many deep conversations. He knows that I have a partner. He really loved someone at the time. Like he's just such a nice person, and I feel like it's come across in like a different way, but maybe he could have been using that as a strategy with the eyes thing at the start. Like I don't put it past him, and that's pretty smart, but that's not something that I was like, oh, I like this guy because he said I had nice eyes. Like I'm not that shallow. Um, but
No, but it was like
I
it was a building block to build a working relationship with you that I felt
yeah,
like went through the rest of the game. And
yeah.
did you feel like you guys genuinely had a connection, or that you were sort of using each other to get further in the game?
We were definitely shields for each other, but I
Yeah.
definitely had a very big connection with AJ. He is like such a great person. We think very similarly. We're very like nice people. We're very thoughtful, and we're very like, I think, self-aware as well. So I think we're like, even though we're very different as people, we're very similar, like kind of how our brains work.
Mm.
Maybe not strategically wise. He's like very, very
Yeah.
strategic, very impressive. I'm just like, he's like, so what are you thinking about this, this, and this, and this? And he's
And
going
you're
down the
like,
track. I'm just like,
ah.
what are you talking about?
So did
I'm
you
like, I'm trying to get it tonight. But yeah, I
with
think me and AJ's relationship, I wanted to become friends with AJ because he was such a threat.
yeah,
And I think that he had nothing to not like me about. Like he hadn't started a fight with me. He hadn't been on a tribe with me yet. So I think it was a perfect like blank canvas to start a good
yeah,
friendship with him, especially from that first merge vote. Sorry, that first merge challenge. We were next to each other. We spoke pretty much that whole entire challenge. I took him to the cocktail party, and it like just went from there.
from
Like
there. Yeah.
we wanted each other to trust each other, and yeah, we have this like awesome friendship.
That's so good. What was your end game? Who did you want to sit next to at the end?
That's a bit of a hard one because wanting to sit next to someone and who I thought I would sit next to is a bit different.
Yep.
Wanting to sit next to, I would have loved to sit next to Morgan and just
Yeah.
like, yeah, best person wins. Like I'd be so happy for her if she won, and
Yeah.
she literally said she'd be so happy for me if I won. So I, in the end, it'd be like such a cool friendship moment. Like, oh my God, sitting next to your best friend, and you just be happy for whoever wins.
Yeah.
But in terms of like wanting to sit next to someone who I think I could win against, it's hard because
Yeah.
I think everyone has a chance of winning against me. There's so
It's a
many
good
different
group.
takes, and there's so many different opinions on who should be the winner. But I wouldn't mind sitting next to Kaylin just because Kaylin is an amazing, amazing challenge beast. So he would still be very, very hard to win against. But I think that I made a lot of connections compared to Kaylin,
Yeah.
possibly. Again, he's made so many as well. So it's so hard to say. But Kaylin would have been someone that I would have liked to sit next to. I think obviously Morgan, and then Kristen is someone that I thought about sitting next to at the
Taken to the
end.
end. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Think
because
that
I
think you'd
thought
have a
that
really good shot. Yeah.
yeah, I'd have a good shot, and she's a lovely person. Again, I'd like to see her win as well if it did go that way, but also I think I would have a good shot. So there was a few people that I would like to sit next to at the end, and there was a few people I wanted to take quite far, and AJ was one of them as well.
Yeah, nice. We've got another minute or so left, so I've just got a couple of quick questions at the end. Is there something that didn't make the edit that you wanted to share with everyone?
Um, I think I did that already with my OCD.
Yeah, great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And we have that.
I feel
Yeah,
like that was the
exactly.
only thing I was like, you know what, it's nothing to do with gameplay, so I totally understand why I wasn't in it, but that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah, love it. What are you going to take away from Survivor after this journey now?
I've taken so much away from Survivor. I'm just like such a yes girl. Like if anyone wants to go out, like I'm such a like I was so excited. Like when I got home, I was like so excited for life. Like you want to go out? Yes. You want to eat this? Yes. You want to do that? Yes. Like, and I want to keep my thought process that way. I also like have a very great mentality of like, you know what, I did that so I can do this. Like at the gym,
Yes.
I'm killing it at the gym at the moment because I'm just like I just like, if you could do that, you can do this. So I want to keep up that really good like mentality. Like I went through that hardship, and if you can do like the hardest thing ever, then you
Yeah.
can do the little things as well.
And just quickly, with that last vote where you put your vote on Kaylin, it seemed like you were working with Miles because Miles did sort of say, hey, we should do this. And then were
Yeah.
you surprised that then Miles put a vote on AJ?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
okay.
Miles was lying to me. I understood his plan once it was explained.
Yep.
I wish he just told me, AJ.
Yeah,
But
I
again,
know. Yeah.
I would have gone home because it would have been a split vote on me and AJ, and then Kaylin would have switched his vote to AJ. So again, I go home. I go home in a lot of situations
Yeah.
in that
Yeah, I think
scenario.
yeah,
So
it was
yeah,
really hard.
it wasn't a really big deal. I kind of wish I came up with a new plan to go on someone else, like thinking it might have been, but I
But
honestly thought someone else
when
was gonna
Miles
go
had
on.
yeah, when Miles had an idol and Zara won immunity, it was pretty hard at that point.
Yeah, nah.
Like
Zara was
what can you
probably the
do
worst person for me
to win?
to win
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because she would be one person that I reckon maybe they might have changed to
Yep.
because she's also a threat. She's pretty much the same level as me,
Yep.
and she wouldn't see it coming. So if she didn't win, it
That
would
could have been
actually have
your
been
in. Yeah.
good. And then, of course, Miles didn't have an idol.
Did you know about Miles' idol going into that, or that was a surprise?
That was a surprise. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, of course, freaking idol.
Yeah.
You're printing them on your arms, I swear.
So
them
funny.
in here.
And finally, last question is, what is your favorite film?
What is my favorite film?
Yeah.
All time?
I'm a movie man.
Yeah, you are. Okay. I don't know if you're going to like this, but the Grinch, the original Grinch, Jim Carrey.
The Jim Carrey original Grinch, what's not to like? We love Jim Carrey in that. He's absolutely fantastic.
It's actually the best movie ever. Just the heartstrings.
Yeah, you put that on at Christmas time, and yeah, your heart will grow 3 times.
Yeah, exactly right. See, I'm glad you liked it.
So good, Kate. Well, thank you so much for the chat. I really appreciate you spending the time with us. We loved watching your journey there. I feel like out of everyone there, you had this huge arc and journey, and you really became a strong Survivor player at the end there. So thank you very much. All the best, and we hope to see you again very soon. See you, buddy.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.